This is a call for an uprising. Welcome you to today's show. We ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda and the ushering in of the Antichrist, which is underway. I want to talk about this Donald Trump situation. I did a video when the channel first started over a month ago. I've been talking about it with people that I'm close with since last fall. And that is this false flag Donald Trump event that's going to occur. I've been saying it over and over. I know other people have been saying it too, which shows that the Holy Spirit is working through a lot of different people to see the signs of what's to come. And this protesting event that occurred in Chicago yesterday, and now you see it again today in Ohio, where another protester bum rushed the stage and tried to attack Donald Trump. Okay, what you're seeing here is conditioning. These are all set up events to prepare you for what is to come, which is going to be an attack either on Donald Trump's life, which I believe would be a false flag attack where he wouldn't really be assassinated. He would just be set up to look like he was, and then he'd be ushered underground. Because like I've been saying, Donald Trump is not anti-Illuminati. He is not a hero. He's not anti-establishment. He is a part of the system. Just like Hillary Clinton is a part of the system. They're all in on it together. Okay, so don't fall for this illusion that Trump is rebelling against the elitists and the globalists. He's a part of it, 100% a part of it. But they're trying to make you believe now that he's anti-establishment so that when this false flag event happens, one, you'll be conditioned and prepared for it. Because what they're doing, not only are they trying to usher in martial law, but they're also working on ushering in the race war because they're going to come together. We've been talking about the race war a lot in this channel. Right? And after the attack or after the protest events yesterday, Donald Trump called the people thugs, which is a racial slur, a racial term. Right? You see how they're trying to just, like I've been saying, like poke at each race. They're poking at African Americans. They're poking at whites. They're getting them against each other, which is exactly what they want. Okay? And then they'll usher in order under chaos when it all goes down, which will start with martial law, but it starts really with the race war. And Donald Trump is now playing the side with the race war. He's getting involved in that angle, but they're conditioning you for this false flag event. They're saying, look how out of control Trump is. He promotes violence, something bad. They're preparing you for something bad. That's what all of this is. They are preparing you for something bad that's going to happen to him. And then people are going to look back and they're going to say, that we saw the signs. He was out of control. These things were going down with him and the protesters. It's going to be more than just these two events that happen. It's not going to happen yet. He's going to win first. There's going to be more small events like this that occur over the next few months. And then when he's running against Hillary, that's when the event is going to occur. But don't fall into the trap of believing that it's a real event. Okay? They want you to think that. Other people who are so-called truthers are trying to push that Donald Trump is anti-Illuminati, he's anti-secret societies, he's not a part of it. Just like we showed that Newt Gingrich clip, right? The purpose of that video wasn't to say Donald Trump hasn't been initiated in the secret societies yet. What I was trying to say by showing it is that they're even admitting to it. They're even admitting to the fact that they have these secret societies that control everything. But they're trying to make Trump look like he is anti-Illuminati, that he's anti-establishment, that he's here for the people. And that's not what the case is. He's in on it. Okay, and they're all in on this setup, this false flag setup where he is going to be attacked or assassinated because it's going to usher in all of these things. It's going to usher in World War III. It's going to usher in a race war, okay, in the United States of America. It's going to usher in martial law. Okay, he will not be harmed. It is likely that he is put underground. We've talked about this. They have an underground city. Yes, it sounds crazy. It's true. You can look into it. Watch my video on it. He will be carted away as a hero. He will stand as a hero and a patriot, which is probably what he wants more than anything anyway, to be immortalized, because that's what these people want. They want to be remembered forever, like Egyptian gods and goddesses. That's what they think they are. That's what they want. They want a legacy here on earth. But this is just more conditioning. So they're preparing you with these false stage rushes. I've been saying it for a while. I've been talking about it, how there is going to be a false flag event that's going to keep either Obama in office or just give Hillary the seat by default, the seat of the presidency, I should say. But don't fall into the trap of thinking that this is real, because it's not. This entire thing is staged. All of it. I know people have a hard time believing that because they say, wait, so even the protesters in on it and this guy's in on it? If you knew how deep the conspiracy goes and how big their network is and how many of them there are, it's not hard to fathom that they do all of these false flag setups. They do all of these events. This is part of the conditioning process. They are pretty much telling you flat out that Trump is this wild card maverick. That's the role, it's the image they wanted him to portray, just like in a movie. They're making him look like this radical, anti-establishment hero. Okay? That's what they're trying to make him look like. And all of these little events are going to keep occurring with protesters, with him saying ridiculous statements. So then Hillary and the other people on the other side could say that, Trump is initiating violence. That's what she claimed today. That's what they want you to think. This is all staged. It is staged for you and for me, for us, to trick us, our brothers and sisters, to influence us into World War III, martial law, and a civil race war here in the United States. It's all happening together, and it's going to happen with a false flag Trump assassination, or an event that will take him out of the picture, or him resigning. But it's likely to be a false flag assassination. And if they don't go that route, it'll be something along the lines of where Obama just declares martial law and then he's going to stay in office, so there is no election. But I'm telling you that this is a complete setup, a complete staging. Most of you are smart enough to figure that out. I understand that. But for those of you who aren't, don't fall into the trap of believing this stuff, because there's a lot of truthers that think Donald Trump isn't a part of the Illuminati. You don't become a billionaire in this country, in the world, without being in on this. They won't allow you to gain that kind of wealth. Okay, he's a powerful person, a man of influence. They don't let you get influence like that and power like that unless you're in on it. So the Gingrich thing was obviously their way of trying to make it seem like Trump was anti-Illuminati, quote unquote, or anti-elitist, anti-globalist. And now they're having these events where they're sending people, they're creating these false racial protests to make it seem like, Trump is really this anti-establishment figure. He's out of control. And I'm telling you, this event is going to go down. Some event along those lines. He is not getting in office, and he knows that he's not. Okay, he's doing this. He's a patsy for them. He's getting, his reward is how he's going to be immortalized if this event goes down. But he is a part of it. It is a game. We are pawns in their game. That's what this comes down to. Pawns in their game. So keep looking when you see these news stories. Every single news story, these massive news stories, they're not coincidences. This whole thing is planned. Everything is set up. Everything. Okay? It's not headline news. It's not mainstream unless they're behind it, turning the wheel. That's what they're doing here. That's exactly what they're doing, and that's what they've been doing for centuries. Don't fall into the trap of believing it. See these things and say, what is the agenda behind it? Okay? Knowing that Trump is in on it, knowing that Hillary is in on it, knowing that they have a plan in place for a new world order, and how are they going to get from point A, which is where we are right now, to point B, which is a new world order. An event has to occur. And people are so dumb, so if you want to go back to point A and say where we are now, well, everyone's sound asleep. So it's not going to take something colossal to get in the New World Order, because people are going to want it. They're going to scare people into thinking they need a New World Order, that world peace is the answer, right? The Antichrist is going to come in the name of peace and love. That's exactly what's going to occur here. An event which will usher in martial law, which will usher in a new world order, which will usher in the Antichrist, and the masses out there are going to be accepting of it. Because as long as their day-to-day life doesn't change, where they can get up and go to work and willingly be a slave to the system, willingly, proudly, with pride. That's how sick this society has become. People are prideful in being a slave in the Illuminati system because they have a social status that comes with it, and to them, that's something to be proud of. That's how deep the hypnosis runs. Don't fall into the trap of believing this stuff, because it's not real. As Christians, we have to stand strong in the scriptures and see the signs of the times. We're in the falling away period. It's already happened. There aren't many of us left who are here defending Christ and defending the scriptures. There are many who claim to be Christian, but they're lukewarm Christians. We read about that in the book of Revelation. We have to stay strong. We have to help other people wake up to not get involved in this. If you're African American, don't get involved in this race war because it is set up by them. And the same message goes to white people. Don't let them poke at you and irritate you so that now you want to fight back against African Americans. That's what they want. This is unfolding exactly the way that they planned it, because that's how it works. That's the total control they have over the mind. We've talked on the show about mind control. Everybody is under it. If you own a TV and you own a device and you don't allow yourself to stay in a beta state, then you're going to be put under mind control when you're watching it. You have to realize that the news is the most fictional thing on television. It's more fictional than a cartoon show. It's more fictional than Monday Night Raw. Okay? It is more scripted than pro wrestling. The news is your reality. They've created it. That's how they play with your emotions. That's how they create fear. That's how they create panic. That's how they get you to do what they want. That's how they anger you. That's how they direct you and derail you. Because you see the news as what's really going on in the real world. And it couldn't be more opposite. The news is the agenda that they've created to lead you the way they want to lead you. And these events that occur, like these Trump protest events on back-to-back days, are false flag setups. These are setups. And there's going to be many, many more. And Trump is definitely going to win the primary before something goes down. He's going to be the Republican candidate. That's part of the plan. And he's going to run against Hillary. That's part of the plan. All of this has been predetermined. All of it. Everything. That's the hardest part for people to understand. They want to believe in this stuff. And they see videos on Rihanna and all these other celebrities doing the Illuminati symbols. And they take that and they say, yeah, they're in on something. But they refuse to believe how big this goes. They refuse to believe that all of these things and all of these events that you think are real events aren't controlled events when they are. So don't fall into that trap. Realize that if you're going to start in this awakening process, if you're trying to wake yourself up, you need to tell yourself right now, everything in this world is fake and a lie, and the only truth is Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean your wife and your family and those things are a lie. I'm saying everything that's portrayed in the media, on a television set, in the newspaper is controlled. It is manipulated to gear you the way they want, which is to usher in the New World Order. They are going to trick the masses into accepting a New World Order. They are going to trick the masses into openly accepting the Antichrist. That's the frightening part. People are going to be accepting of him. We know that from the scriptures. So what do you think is happening here? That is what they are getting to. That's what these events are for. They're all linked together. Don't fall into the trap. Don't fall into believing it. Tell yourself what you're watching is scripted. No more fictional than a movie or pro wrestling or anything you see on television, because that's the truth. So stay awake. Stay strong in your faith. God bless you all. Peace be with you. This is a call for an uprising. I welcome you to today's show and ask those of you who have not subscribed to please subscribe to our YouTube channel as we continue to expose the satanic Illuminati agenda. Today's episode, I wanted to talk a little bit about Barack Obama and why there's a strong chance that he may not be leaving office. I've discussed on this channel before about a false flag operation that would involve Donald Trump. And now it sounds like many truthers have been speaking in the same light, which means we're all thinking alike. But that also means that they're looking and seeing this as they troll to see what the buzz is, that they're getting concerned that more and more people are becoming aware that there could be a false flag attack on Trump. They might not even care at this point because they could still say that we're still crazy conspiracy theorists, and when something like death happens, they could turn it into a real serious matter, obviously, even though I'd be under the belief that he would not be dead in any sense, that he'd be underground. But I want to talk about Obama and what they're doing. They're subtly talking about him in the media now in a different light. They're talking about how great of a president he has been. They're now saying his approval rating is at an all-time high. His approval rating is as high as Ronald Reagan's approval rating. All of these statistics are obviously bogus. I mean, are they coming to your house and asking you for your opinion and counting it in the approval rating? Who are the people that are actually voting for this approval rating? Just more lies, more garbage that they use to manipulate the masses, Because when people hear a story like this, they say, yeah, I guess Obama wasn't that bad after all. And what I believe they're doing is conditioning you for when whatever this event that is going to occur before the elections happen, okay, an event is going to occur that will leave Barack Obama in office, whether it's a false assassination on Trump or whether it is something so catastrophic that politicians will tell you that it's too chaotic to switch presidents when we're going through a world war. So I likely believe that World War III will be starting before then, or some type of massive event, a massive planned attack that they have planned on us. But this would allow Obama to overrule his term and stay in office longer to end the election. People will be under the impression that it is a smart decision because during chaos, they wouldn't want a transitional president. They wouldn't want someone like Trump with no experience getting in if he is spared, or they wouldn't want Hillary getting in because, well, for a lot of different reasons. But when they put press releases out like this one, it's on every single major media site, all released today, all around the same time. Everybody just happened to have this story because these are planned. They plan these. This is part of the hypnosis and the mind control. They plant seeds in your head that Obama has been a great president so that when something does happen, you'll say, well, you know, I trust Obama. He's done an okay job. It's probably better than crazy Donald Trump or crazy Hillary, who's doing these email things, right? They might make these two candidates look very incapable of running the country. You could expect to hear the media talk about that. They'll talk about it. They're already talking about it with Trump, saying that he's not capable of being president, that he's too dangerous, that he's like Hitler. And then others are saying that Hillary is sleazy and she can't be trusted. Right? So you look for signs like that. So they're going to, bash them in the media as if both of them aren't viable candidates to be president, even though we know this entire thing is fixed and not real. Even though we know it's a scam and there's no voting process, they're going to make it look like that to the masses, that neither one of them is capable of becoming president. And then when this false event happens, whatever it is to usher in a new war, okay, Obama will overrule because he does what he wants anyway, and the laws allow him to, because it's really a dictatorship. But they'll present it to you as Obama will be here to stay in office to save the day for the time being, and they'll postpone the election. And people will be okay with it because they'll say, well, these two candidates look pretty, one's sleazy, one's like Hitler. Now we're going into war because we're under attack. Maybe Obama is the right person to stay in office, which would be more of them just destroying the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, which they've already done. People just don't even care. They don't pay attention to it, that we really don't have that anymore. But you can expect some type of an attack to occur this year that would leave him there. And people will be okay with it because this is where the mind control comes in. They'll keep pumping Obama now in his last days as a great, competent president. He was one of the best presidents. He was wonderful. They'll start upping it. Ooh, his approval rating's high. They'll talk about just the pros of his term. So people say, yeah, he wasn't that bad. Then they'll be bashing the other candidates who are running, which will be Trump and Hillary, making them look incompetent and incapable of being president. This will all go down and an event will occur. And I'm telling you, there's a very strong chance that he's not leaving office. I know there's a lot of people that feel like Hillary was the hand chosen one. Trump's not even in the picture. So if you think Trump's becoming president, you're out of your mind. He's not becoming president. Is he a part of the Illuminati? Of course he's a part of it. He wouldn't be in that position if they didn't put him there. But Hillary is likely the hand chosen one if Obama and this plan doesn't work the way that they probably have it planned, which is for him to stay. Hillary would be the chosen one then. But I fully believe that the plan as of right now, unless something happens that drastically changes their plans, is for Obama not to go anywhere. And he's even dropped lines in interviews about not leaving office. And he's chimed in and said things about the candidates. There's a lot of hints out there that would point towards him not going anywhere. All you have to do is read between the lines. Who cares what his approval rating is? Why is that getting pumped out of the media today? What his approval rating is? That's what you have to ask yourself when you see stories like that. Don't read it and go, oh, that's interesting. People, I guess, are starting to like him. No. They're trying to tell you that he's better than he is and that every other person likes him now and that maybe you should. It's all mind control. Who's doing the voting in these approval rating votes? No one that anyone's ever met. I've never met anyone that's been a part of it. Oh, right. There's some lie behind that, too, about who actually gives the vote, right? Give me a break. So I'm telling you this video, there's a strong chance that he doesn't leave office. So think about it. Remember, you heard it here. So don't be surprised if something like that happens. This satanic antichrist government that we have set up is ready to usher in the antichrist. And it could be Obama who does it, or it could be Hillary. But whoever's next, it's happening now. It's not happening 50 years from now. We are in the end times. It is coming. It's all happening. It's all coming to fruition. So keep your eyes open. Look for stories like this and then ask yourself, why are they saying this? Because there's an agenda behind the agenda. And people are getting wise to it. People are getting very wise to these things. So don't be surprised if he doesn't go anywhere and he's in office during World War III. And trust me, you might think it sounds crazy, but like I've been telling you about the television and hypnosis, they will make everybody support it. Everybody will get behind it. Nobody will care about the elections anymore. Because whatever the event is, it could be so catastrophic that people will be focused on revenge, which is what they want you to be focused on. But we need to stay focused on the scriptures and focus on Jesus Christ and expose these people and expose what's going on so people don't fall prey to this. So people don't accept the ushering in of the Antichrist. They don't get tricked into believing and worshiping the Antichrist. Stay strong in your prayer. God bless you all. Peace be with you. This is a call for an uprising. We welcome you to today's show. Before we start, we just want to thank everyone out there who has subscribed to our YouTube channel. We started this mission about a week ago on YouTube, creating a channel and trying to provide content to get the message out there, exposing the Satanists, elitists who run the world, the Illuminati, the Zionists, exposing their agenda. In under a week, we have about 100 subscribers, close to 100 subscribers already. So we appreciate that. We thank you for subscribing. We hope you'll share us with your friends as we try to continue to grow our channel. Exposing the Illuminati is something I've been doing for quite a period of time, just not in this type of avenue. So it's exciting to be able to get my voice out there. Today's show is a very controversial one, as you could tell from the title of the video. Now, we're not making any type of prediction here. We're not predicting or hoping that this is something that will happen. But there's a lot of signs pointing towards a possible false flag Donald Trump assassination that would lead us into World War III. As most of you know, the Illuminati's plan is to take us into a world war that would lead to a world government, which would lead to world peace. And Donald Trump has been the poster child for a war on Muslim. He is anti-Muslim, as he's made very clear in his videos, in his campaign videos and his speeches. His campaign videos, he's talking about how he wants Muslims out of this country and not allowed in. I mean, he's very vocal about it. So obviously, anyone listening to this already knows this, that Trump has made a stance against Muslim, which makes a lot of people support Trump. There's a lot of people that support that. And then, of course, there's people that don't. And that's something, before we get to this, we want to get out of the way, too, is that this isn't a Republican or Democrat thing. If you're awake, you obviously know that there's no such thing as a Republican Party, and there's no such thing as a Democratic Party. It is made up to divide the people, to get you to think that you're a part of something, to get you to think that your vote counts, that you're actually determining the fate of the country, as if you have free will. This has been predetermined, folks. This is predetermined at the Bilderberg meetings. This is predetermined by the elitists. There's already a puppet, another satanic worshiper put into power. This happens year after year. So let's get that out there. Your vote doesn't count. And this video is not a pro any person involved in these elections, because Hillary Clinton is a puppet for them. Sanders is, they all are. It's a joke. It's a gigantic joke. So we're not supporting a party. So get that straight as we go forward. There's no allegiance to a party here. There's no Tea Party, none of this stuff. It's all fake. Everything is set up and planned. They wouldn't allow the people to choose the president. Of course not. The people who control the money, this goes back to the ancient times, the beginning of time. One ruler, there's always been a ruler, okay, who's passed things along in his bloodline. These people are all related to one another through bloodline. And then that's how they get into power. They position these people who they want in power, and they put them there. So again, no party involved here. So don't listen to this and try to separate from, if you are a Republican, quote unquote, or a Democrat, realize that that's not real. It's just to divide you into another group so you can have pointless debates with people about pro-life or pro-choice. It's all a waste of time. There is no election. It is not real. So if you're listening to this and you're a Republican who loves Donald Trump, understand that he is a puppet, just like all of these guys, for the elitists. And your vote doesn't count, so you might want to eliminate yourself from being involved in a party and get involved in the party of Christ. Okay? That's the only campaigning you should be doing, is supporting Christ. So the flags that we see that are pointing towards this are obviously Trump's massively against the Muslim nation. And they want to bring in World War III. So what it looks like could be happening here, which might blow your mind a little bit, it might sound crazy, but just be open to the idea. You have to look for these signs. And they're obviously making this a very pro-Trump versus Muslim thing, which would incite an Islamic attack, which would make it look like it was real, which would make everybody want to go to war with Islam immediately. So what I believe could be an option here is, of course, Trump will win his election to be the Republican representative, and Hillary will win hers, win, quote unquote, because they've been chosen. But I feel personally that Obama is still staying in office. Yes, I feel like there's a very good chance that Obama stays in office during this entire ruse that they're pulling. So it would be a fake assassination attempt on Trump, as Trump is running against Hillary, which would leave Hillary vacant and then give her support to Obama to stay in office for another term, for another whatever. And he'll put in his own clause that'll allow him to stay in for another year, 2 years, 4 years. He will lift the 4-year/8-year term that you're allowed to have, the maximum term you're allowed to have. He'll lift it. And Hillary will support it. And the people will support it. And you're saying there's no way people would support it? Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Because if there's an assassination, there hasn't been one since Kennedy on a president that's gone through. Okay? But as we know, Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, and JFK were all assassinated by the Illuminati. All of them were assassinated by them. And there hasn't been one in quite some time. And a fake assassination attempt is the perfect way to roll in World War III. The perfect way for them to do it. And you know why people would support Obama staying in office? Because they're going to create chaos. And what does it say on the back of the dollar bill? What are they all about? Order under chaos. They are going to create chaos. An assassination, fake assassination, whatever you want to call it, on Trump would lead to chaos. Everybody would be going bananas, because this is something that this generation has not ever experienced. Everybody here feels so safe, even after September 11th. But remember, after September 11th, what it led to. Bush was looked at as one of the worst presidents of all time. I mean, everybody hated him. And when he stood there with his microphone and that entire disgusting display that the Illuminati put on, and he stood proud for America, he became a representative of what America's all about, everybody supported him. And of course, that wore off towards the end of his term, but nonetheless, people supported him under chaos. Now, if something like this does happen, and it's going to happen, something is going to happen. They have something planned for 2016. And I'm not trying to be crazy and get people in fear, but they're planning something to get everybody in. Because when the Antichrist, acceptance of the Antichrist isn't going to be a forced thing. People aren't going to be forced to worship the devil. They're going to willingly do it. They are tricking us into all of this. They are leading us down this path through mind control, through tricking us. So they create events like this to trick us. And then all of our emotions get involved and we support it. They know that. They create it so that you do that, so that you support what they want you to support. So what this could lead to is Obama staying in office for another term. And it's not crazy to think of. It's not that crazy of a notion, to be honest with you. Because people will support it, because it'll be chaos everywhere. And they'll say, well, it's not a good time for change, right? It's not a good time for change because we're going into a war. We can't have presidents switch going into war. And Hillary would be, nobody would run against her. So this will be a period of time after this first wave of elections happened, obviously, because if it happened tomorrow, people would say, well, then let Ted Cruz, whoever came in second, run. Well, 6 months from now, Ted Cruz is back doing whatever he's doing, and these other politicians are all out of the picture. People won't even remember who was running against Trump. I mean, Trump's going to get bigger and bigger as they build this locomotive up towards the summer and the fall. So it'll be sometime around that period that they can do this, and it'll be so close to election that, one, there's going to be nobody to take Trump's place, and nobody's going to want Hillary to win unrun against, you know? Nobody's going to want Hillary in there if she's not running against anyone. They won't have time to plug someone in. And Hillary, of course, will give the blessing for Trump to stay. And there's a reason that a woman has been put in this position, okay? Because people are going to feel uncomfortable with her going in, because there's never been a woman president, never been a female president before. And with all this chaos going on, everybody's going to say, well, it's kind of risky. Let's stick with something sturdy and normal. We know Obama. Let's just stick with this for now. Let's get through this war, and then we'll have an election. And I believe that's what they're going to do. And involved in all this is going to be the ushering in of the Antichrist. I don't know who it is. Okay? It could be Obama. It could be whoever. We'll know. We'll know. Okay? Because God will reveal it to us. But we see the signs all around us of them ushering in the Antichrist with these musicians, these low-level puppet, scumbags that are constantly just pushing Lucifer down everyone's throat. The generation, the teens now, are going to be supportive of the Antichrist. They have no spiritual backbone with Christ. They have no belief system. They believe in the musicians. You should see the messages I get just from posting Illuminati symbols in some of these musicians' songs. People act like they're family members with these people, like they know them on a personal level. That's how deep the mind control runs. So people are going to be supportive of the Antichrist when this happens. And like I said, this isn't a prediction. This is just a notion that I have because there's so many signs. I mean, they are just, when you watch TV and you're awake and you listen to the news and all this stuff, what you know in your head, you know it's not real. So you have to watch it and say, what are they trying to push? Well, with Trump, they are nonstop pushing him against Mexicans, pushing him against Muslims. They're making it almost seem like he's a target to be killed by a terrorist group. They're making it overly obvious. I mean, it seems too obvious. Again, just keep your eye out for these things because it seems like it's an obvious direction that they're going in, and they're going towards World War III this year. They're going towards it. It is happening. And I believe all the signs are pointing towards a false flag assassination. Not rooting for an assassination. If people out there don't understand what false flag is, I'm not going to get into the whole thing, but it's a setup. It's not real. He wouldn't really be killed. He's a part of it. These people are all part of it. You can't run for president unless you're in it, unless you're a billionaire, millionaire. You have to be one of them. They wouldn't allow you to get to that level. They wouldn't even allow you to get to the primary. There's been people that have tried to run. Forget it. You have to have over $1 million to get your name on the ballot in each state. Okay? Not even counting marketing. You're talking hundreds of millions of dollars. And anyone that has hundreds of millions of dollars is a part of it. Okay? People aren't randomly getting that kind of money. The networking system is providing it for them. So this would be a false flag thing, and Trump would have a lot to gain from it. Number one, if they tell you to do something, you do it. And Trump wouldn't have a problem participating in this. They've given him millions and millions of dollars. He's become a national icon. And a false assassination on him, if he has to hide out for the rest of his days, do you know how big of a hero he becomes in this country to the sheep? I mean, people already worship this guy. They love this guy because he's a bully, even though they don't want anyone being a bully. They love this guy. A fake assassination on him and people actually thinking that he's dead or assassinated, he would become more than an icon. He would be immortalized here. And that's something for him that these people love that. They want to be immortalized. They never want their legacy to die. All they care about is storing up treasure here on earth. They want to be immortalized. That's why they have all these things immortalizing people. Hall of Fames and all that stuff. They're all about immortality and never letting their legacy die and passing it along in their bloodlines. So this Trump would gain greatly from it. At his age, he rides off into the sunset. They put him underground somewhere or whatever, wherever they would hide him out, which is likely underground. He'd participate in this. Absolutely. Absolutely. He becomes bigger than he would ever become if he was a president who lived through a 4-year term. Because people would always say, what if Trump got in? He was going to be the best. They're making him look like the greatest thing since sliced bread. I mean, they're making him look like he really is going to change the world when we know he's not, because we know what's coming. We know exactly what's coming. He's not going to change anything. None of these guys are. They're not supposed to. They're not really there for change. They're tricking you. That's all they're doing. So again, look for some type of false flag operation like that would keep Obama in office. It doesn't mean that Trump can't. This is just something a premonition that I'm having, and I've had for a while about it, putting the signs together of what they're pointing at. But even if Trump gets in office, you can expect this to happen. So I feel like it's going to happen before then. Okay? Unless Trump picks somebody to be his vice president that is very prominent, that is way high up in the elitist Illuminati, which of course he will be, whoever it is. But it's likely to happen beforehand, so Obama stays. But if not, if there isn't one beforehand, whoever he chooses as vice president, whoever he chooses, the one that they've chosen since day one, and to put him in that specific way, to put him in with a fake assassination, and then he becomes the president of the United States. So Trump would be fake assassinated after the election, which would lead to World War III. So just look for those things. Trump's already positioned to run against Hillary. That's what it's going to be. And they're going to pump Trump up big time. Big time. Okay? And this thing could work out where he is assassinated and Hillary does somehow get in via default almost. It could be that because a lot of people have felt that Hillary was the one positioned. So this is just something to keep your eye on. An event like this happening. Obviously, again, like I said, a false flag. And we're not condoning or wishing a real attempt like that would happen. Of course not. As a true disciple of Christ, we don't wish that on anyone, even our worst enemies. But we know that we're being played by these people. Okay? They're playing us. So don't get caught up in this charade. It's a complete charade to distract you from what's really going on. You think you're a part of this while they're doing all this stuff behind the curtain. These people are puppets. And they'll do whatever they're told by their god, Lucifer. Okay? So we know today's show is a little controversial, but it's food for thought. Something to keep in mind as you watch this thing play out. There's a lot of signs pointing towards an event like this happening. Again, it'll be a false flag event, likely done by the CIA. But just keep your eyes open and keep your heart with Christ always. And remember, the Lord rejoices in repentant hearts. We hope you enjoyed today's show. We wish you and your family nothing but blessings from ours to yours. God bless you. Peace be with you.